What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the brand new Ivy Park Adidas UltraBoost. Has Adidas actually found its next Kanye? Let's find out. Over the last few years, Adidas has collaborated with some very high-profile musicians and artists, namely Pharrell Williams and Kanye West. And it looks like Adidas is actually adding to their arsenal of extremely popular musicians with the one and only Beyonce. And when it got announced that Beyonce signed to Adidas, people were hyped. I mean, you guys know that Beyhive. Whew, don't want to say anything bad about them, because they'll come after you and destroy you. And in all seriousness, people were very excited, myself included, because I love when big artists collaborate with big brands. I always think some really cool stuff comes out of that. And I've got to say, when the pieces from this collaboration were revealed, I was impressed. I thought they did a great job. To be fair, I'm a sucker for maroon colored things, so this entire collection was up my alley, but it's mostly for women, so I couldn't buy most of it. I'm sure you've noticed by this point, but the collaboration between Beyonce and Adidas isn't directly with Beyonce, it's with her brand Ivy Park. Ivy Park is a women's sportswear brand that Beyonce launched back in 2016 with clothing retailer Topshop. The idea behind Ivy Park was to push the boundaries of women's athletic wear and also let women know that beauty isn't only physical appearance. Even though Beyonce started Ivy Park in collaboration with Topshop, they actually severed ties a couple years back, and this is now her relaunching the brand with Adidas. And I've got to say, even though I don't have any problem with Topshop, I've shopped there a bunch myself, she's definitely going to do bigger things with Adidas. And my favorite thing to drop from the January 18th relaunch of Ivy Park was the Adidas UltraBoost, and I think they honestly knocked this collaboration out of the park. It's awesome. But before we actually get to the sneaker itself and this kind of ridiculous giant orange tag, let's take a look at the box. Well, it's kind of just a giant white box. Well, okay, I mean, to be fair, it does have the Adidas 3 stripes embossed across the top. It's also got the Adidas sportswear logo embossed on the left side and then the Ivy Park logo embossed across the bottom of the right side. But that's about it. I mean, it's a drawer type box and it's got this sort of hexagonal figure cut out in the center, which I wonder if that has something to do with the Beyhive. I don't really know anything about the Beyhive, so I could be grasping at straws, but that's what I thought it was. As I mentioned, the Ivy Park Adidas UltraBoost released on January 18th for a retail price of $200, and technically it released in women's only sizing, even though it went up to like a size 12.5 or 13 in men's. And the UltraBoost wasn't the only Ivy Park silhouette that released. There were also two different colorways of the Nite Jogger and then a platform shoe that I don't remember the name of. But this one was by far my favorite, so this is the one that I had to pick up. Let me talk about the tag on the back of the shoe so I can take it off and it doesn't bother me the entire review. So out of the box, the right shoe comes with this crazy oversized neon orange tag that's attached to the pull tab. It's made of this weirdly stiff nylon material and it's got the Adidas 3 stripes in black on one side and the Ivy Park logo in black on the other side. Not totally sure what it's for other than like out of the box aesthetics and wow factor. That's probably all it's made for, but I wouldn't wear this when you're wearing the shoe. It'd just be insane. So if you're buying this shoe and you just plan to display it, great, keep it on. But if you're planning to wear it at all, take it off. Please take it off. I've got to be fair though, it does look good in pictures. Finally, starting off with the shoe though, it does look like Adidas is actually giving us an UltraBoost 1.0, which I'm really excited about. The toe of the sneaker comes with this classic UltraBoost 1.0 prime knit pattern, and of course, as you can tell, it comes in a very dark maroon. This prime knit upper feels just like good old UltraBoost 1.0 prime knit uppers, and I love it. I love the aesthetics of it, I love the feel of it. It's the way to go. Obviously, this is primarily a monochromatic shoe, so a majority of the sneaker comes in different tones of maroon. The one thing is though, on the prime knit upper, it's all one shade of maroon. There's no color variation whatsoever, and to be honest, I'm fine with that. It's a simple and clean prime knit upper, and I really dig that about it. Moving up on the shoe, you get to these dark maroon rope laces with 3M accents. The lacing system on the Ivy Park version of the UltraBoost is a little bit different than you're probably used to, and that's not just because they're using rope laces instead of flat laces. Instead of tying the laces like you usually would, would, they actually give you a drawstring system, which works fine. You just push it forward to tighten it and pull it back to loosen it. The one thing I don't like about it is that they actually taped off the end of the laces, so you're kind of stuck with these laces. Visually, I actually like it a lot. I think it's a really cool touch, but the fact that I can't switch out these laces without cutting off the end of them kind of sucks. Continuing up the sneaker, at the top of the tongue, you've got this fabric mesh material that obviously also comes in maroon. And in the center of the tongue, you've got this maroon leather tag with the Adidas logo debossed into it. Inside the shoe, you've got this really nicely padded sock liner that also comes in maroon. And just like every other UltraBoost, the padding is just around the ankle and the heel, and it's actually just raw prime knit against your foot for the rest of the sneaker. The insole of the sneaker comes in, you guessed it, maroon, and also has the Adidas logo and Ivy Park logo printed on the heel in orange. Now when it comes to sizing, I unfortunately can't give you my personal experience because I bought the wrong size. I bought the shoe off Goat thinking it was coming in women's sizing and not men's sizing, so I bought a size 10.5, which is a size and a half up from my standard size, which is a size 9. And then when it came in the mail, I realized, no, this is a men's 10.5 and not a men's 9. So that's totally my bad. I mean, it fits, I can wear it, but it's definitely a little long, and that kind of sucks because I really like this shoe a lot. What I will say though is that it does seem to fit like a standard pair of UltraBoost 1.0s, which for me fits true to size, and if you've ever worn a pair of UltraBoost 1.0s, it should fit just like that, so grab your standard size in those shoes. But unfortunately, that's about all that I can say because I just don't have this shoe in my size. As I always suggest though, if you have the chance to try this shoe on first before you buy it, or another pair of UltraBoost 1.0s, make sure to do that to make sure the sizing is right for you. I actually should go back and check if Goat had it listed as women's or men's because that kind of really bums me out. I hope it wasn't my fault, but I think it probably was. Continuing back on the shoe, you get to the classic UltraBoost TPU midfoot cage. This time around, it comes in dark maroon. I miss this midfoot cage so much. I mean, I like the UltraBoost 20 and I like the UltraBoost 19, but there's something so classic about this look. I just wish they went back to this because I love it. The midfoot cage works just as you would expect, and it looks just like an UltraBoost 1.0 midfoot cage because it is. And then moving even farther back in the shoe, you get to the heel counter. Unlike the original UltraBoost 1.0 where the heel counter is made up of one material, it looks like on this collaboration it's actually made up of two. You've got the base material that sort of acts as like an outer ridge, and then you've got the inner material which is a slightly darker shade of maroon and also comes in a slightly glossier finish. And then embossed in the center of the heel counter, you've got the Ivy Park logo. Moving around to the back of the shoe, you find more of that mesh fabric which can be found on the top of the tongue. This material was standard for this portion of the UltraBoost 1.0s. The one downside to this material though is that it's not as stretchy as some of the later UltraBoost models that are made of prime knit, so it's a little bit harder to get your foot into the sneaker than some other pairs, but it's not unbearable and I actually don't mind it at all. Then rounding off the heel of the sneaker, you've got this really interesting sort of wrapped lace pull tab. It looks like they took one of the laces from the front of the shoe and actually wrapped it around itself and made a pull tab, which I'm not totally sure how I feel about yet, but I don't hate it, I just don't love it. I mean, it works as a pull tab. I've never needed a pull tab on a pair of UltraBoosts because you've got this high heel, but it is what it is. Continuing down on the shoe, you get to one of my favorite parts of the sneaker, which is the full-length Boost midsole. The UltraBoost is the shoe that made Boost what it is today, and so because of that, a lot of people first tried Boost with the UltraBoost, and so this shoe is always going to have a special place in my heart because for a long time, the UltraBoost 1.0 was the most comfortable shoe I'd ever worn. Now, to be honest, it's still up there. It's still one of the most comfortable shoes of all time. It's just not the most anymore. There's some shoes that are a little bit more comfortable. As you can tell, they painted the Boost on this shoe a dark maroon, which is actually one of my favorite parts of this collaboration because I think it really makes this shoe stand out. Unfortunately, Adidas still hasn't figured out how to dye the Boost and not just paint it, because if you look at the bottom of the shoe, you can see the white Boost through the outsole, but it's not the end of the world and it doesn't crack as easily as I thought it would. In fact, come to think of it, I've only had one pair of sneakers with painted Boost actually lose some of the paint, and it wasn't even cracking off, it was just kind of rubbing off. And then finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you get to one of the most eye-catching details on this collaboration, the neon orange Continental outsole. I genuinely think that the Ivy Park Adidas UltraBoost is one of my favorite UltraBoost collaborations of all time. I think it's incredible. The rest of the Adidas Ivy Park collection is also pretty solid, but like I said before, I just like maroon and orange, so that might be why I like it so much, but it's a solid collection. I think Beyonce, Ivy Park, and Adidas all did an incredible job, and I'm really excited to see what comes out from this collaboration next. If you're trying to grab a pair of the Ivy Park Adidas UltraBoost or any of the other Ivy Park Adidas sneakers, unfortunately they are all sold out. The entire collection sold out almost immediately, which you kind of got to expect because it's a Beyonce collaboration. So if you want to grab any of the sneakers for yourself, you're probably going to have to pay resale. And one last thing to keep in mind, if you're a guy buying any of these sneakers for yourself, or even a woman for that matter, just make sure you're buying the right size because it's a mistake that you're probably going to regret. But now I would love to know your thoughts on the Ivy Park Adidas UltraBoost, and actually your thoughts on the entire entire Ivy Park collection, so let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.